Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, fellow butterflies, friends. We gotta have a talk. This is gonna be a painful topic. You don't want to hear it, but I think the Turner syndrome community needs to know what's going on, and especially since my understanding is there's a virtual conference this weekend. I think the Turner syndrome community needs to hear loud and clear about people that are bullying in the community. And I don't know who's sponsoring or who's putting it on, but I hope that concerned butterflies will have the courage to say, hey, we're really bothered by this, and it's not a Mark Stewart issue. Okay? Read up on narcissistic abuse, and when you understand the games that narcissists play and how they like to cover up and blame the victim, when you start to realize that game, then it's kind of goes. It's kind of like that video I played a few weeks ago with Daffy Duck Dog and Sam Look or Leghorn on the High and the Flighty. Okay. Last night, I had received received a text from a woman that I have told repeatedly. We'll call her Martha. She has not only bothered me, but she has terrorized the individual in another state that's not even a Turner syndrome butterfly. That woman has had, well, no, I'm going to talk plainly because I know the narcissists want me to get all riled up. But that woman has attacked Turner syndrome support groups meeting in private. And on several occasions, I have asked this woman to cease and desist communication. After I posted the backwards basking video, I saw that she got on there. That's stalking. That's causing mental distress. In the state that person lives in, that's very serious. And yes, I am going to contact law enforcement, and I'm going to file a complaint, and then provide the necessary documentation that this woman be handled appropriately. There's one thing about bullying, and I think the Turner syndrome community needs to know. First off, it's wrong. People get hurt. Secondly, a lot of the bullies get a high off of it. It's just like the same chemicals that I can get a fix off if I were to pick up the bottle, or the same high that a gambler gets, or that somebody on certain drugs. There's a thrill and there's a high, and sometimes just to get that fix, the bullies have to go ahead and up the ante. And they can't, and sometimes it takes very severe intervention for them to be stopped. This woman has been told on numerous occasions to cease and desist, not to contact me. Okay? I've had to take a day off from work to settle with this, so it's interfered with my job. It's interfering with my mental health, and I know that it has interfered with the mental health of other Turner syndrome sisters. This has got to stop. And it will stop, and it's going to be handled appropriately, whether you like it or not. The other thought, though, that maybe other butterflies can talk to the bullies in a way that I can't. And maybe they can have those heart-to-hearts that I can't. And maybe they can stop and reason with them, and maybe they could have this conversation. Martha, I spoke to Mark, and he told me that you contacted him last night. He's actually contacted his local police department on several occasions about you. In your state, that's what you're doing is called stalking. It's a felony. How's your husband going to feel assuming she's married. I believe she is. But how would your husband feel if the police come and take your wife away in handcuffs? Assuming she has children. I don't know. How would your children feel to see mommy be taken away in a police car? How would your husband? How is it going to affect your husband? How about your kids? You know, you got a really great career? Do you really want to lose your license and to lose your career? I mean, you could go to prison for 5 years. Is that what you really want to do? You could lose your job. You could be sued. Is that what you really want to do? You know, hey Martha, I'm not alone in my concern. Other butterflies they're too scared and frightened to speak and to speak up. But I think they're going to start. I think they're going to start to speak up. Martha, you got to knock it off. Mark means business. I mean, he's not there, and he's going to defend any butterfly against bullying. You can't, if you don't like him in the Turner Syndrome community, well, that's just too bad. He has every right to be friends with anybody he wants, to support anything that he wants, but and you're just going to have to accept it. Think about how you're affecting your other Turner Syndrome sisters. And I hope, and I know that there are other butterflies that are being dealt with appropriately. Right. Okay. Sorry for the momentary interruption. And the troublemakers are being dealt with appropriately. And the sad thing is, there's some really great people, and there's some really great advocates. I think it's time this weekend, or next time that there's a major conference, that you have to say, hey, what's all this about, all this drama? It's not Mark. We know it's not Mark, okay? Don't blame Mark. It's not Mark, okay? It has nothing to do with Mark. We know the game, okay? It's not Mark. So, why aren't you addressing it? Aren't you the Turner Syndrome Society? Aren't you supposed to help butterflies? We don't feel helped. We're scared, we're frightened, we're angry. And I've heard those conferences. And there are people who are afraid to speak up. Well, bullying is wrong. And it's okay to speak up. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say, no, I'm not going to be disrespected. Go away. No, I don't have time for your games. Go away. I don't have time. Hey, I told you, leave me alone. I'm calling the police. I call them. And maybe you're going to do some of the bullies some favors by maybe a knock on the door from law enforcement. Maybe that's the only thing that can stop them. And I think that now the Turner Syndrome community is going to have to own this one, or it's going to own all of us. It's a painful topic. It's a third rail, but we got to deal with it. And we know where it started. A long time ago, a butterfly let her social anxiety get the best of her. Okay. and has refused help at every step along the way. Okay. On numerous occasions. And I think that the original butterfly is going to say, I think somebody's going to have a heart-to-heart with that butterfly too. And say, hey, Brittany, did you go to Mark? Did you talk to Mark? Mark's not going to hurt you. He loves the butterflies. He's really passionate about Turner syndrome. It had nothing to do with you. Did you go talk to him? Did you maybe help, or we could have gone to talk to him. I mean, Mark would have listened. I mean, he's pretty good when he messes up. He's messed up, and he's really good about it. This is the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. But when you have appendicitis, and when you start getting those warning signs of appendicitis, you just don't sit. And at this time it's time to call 911. It's time to go to the emergency room. And we've got an emotional case of appendicitis that's getting ready to burst, and all of us could get hurt. So I think that's something that it's tough, it's hard, it's a third rail, it's a heavy hitter, but we've all got to talk.